the C-Suite Edge podcast. I'm your host, John Light, founder and CEO of Sabretooth Recruiting. And today, I've got Randy Tate, who's a co-founder and kind of leads the parade, if I can put it that way, at iFlip Invest. Randy, thanks so much for joining us today.
John, super happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so, we were talking pre-show. I guess we could, I sound like I'm in showbiz. Pre-show, post-show, all this other stuff. But we were chatting just for a minute, and we were talking about hats and whatnot, just briefly, which I like your hat. It makes a statement without, having words, which is great. But I'm hoping maybe the hat's part of this. I don't know. But give us like a 90-second overview of Randy Tate, career path, whatnot, and what you're doing here at iFlip Invest. What led to that?
Yeah, it's an interesting journey. People sometimes think I'm 100 years old. My first my first foray out of college, I was a high school football coach, wrestling coach, and a science teacher. I spent a decade doing that. At that point, I was like, I don't think I can do this forever, not because I didn't like the kids or enjoy what I was doing. One, I wasn't making enough money. And two, the parents were starting to annoy me. And so I started my first business at that point. Grew it up. Within 5 years, got it to an exit point, and we sold it to a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company. First exit. It was great. Spent some time working with that company per contract. Then during that process, started a second business, which took me into a completely different industry. I was still doing education and training. Now I was just educating leaders and business leaders. That company got acquired by a big software company. I didn't know much about software, so I went to the software company, did a lot of training, education, fundamentals are the same. Got to a good exit point with those guys, and then started iFlip. Foundation of that is what I've been doing my whole life has prepared me to keep running companies because I started it. And I say this tongue in cheek, but there's a lot of truth to this statement that coaching high school freshman football literally prepares you for organizing business at any level you want. Because if you can coordinate 75 13-year-olds, you can coordinate anything. And I say that only, I say it half joking, but the reality of it is true. It's putting, the skill set is to be able to put the right people on the bus, and then once they're on the bus, put them in the right seat. You get that, and you get everybody rowing in the same direction. I should say boat instead of bus. That's how you create success inside companies. And that is my background. Start it, grow it, exit it. And so now we're in round number 3.
Well, 2 successful exits, man. I'd wear a hat all day, every day too. Just because I can wear it backwards.
Yeah. I should. Yeah, I'm not at the spot yet where I can wear it backwards.
Let's go down this road for a second, because when I first saw the website name, forget even going to the website, when I saw the name iflipinvest.com, the first thing that popped in my head is this guy's flipping houses.
Yep.
Just because that's so much of what you hear nowadays, just out in the ether. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about iFlip Invest, and I think most importantly, what's the biggest problem you solve for your clients?
Yeah, a couple of things on that. So what iFlip is, we're a simple to use investment platform. We are powered by AI, and I'm going to take a sidebar on that for 1 second for you. It's very important for people to understand AI versus a simple mathematical algorithm. Today, you see ads all over the internet. You see them on TV. You hear them on the radio talking about their AI-powered investments. One, that's new language in the last few years, and they don't have AI. So what do I mean by that? AI is something that must be able to change its own rules. The algorithm must be able to change the way in which it functions. If it does not or cannot, if a human, once it's turned on, if a human has to go back in and make an adjustment, it is no longer AI. That is what everybody else has. So we are powered by real AI and machine learning, and the intention is to protect your wealth while you outperform the market, which that's the holy grail in the financial services world. If you can do better than the S&P 500 with less risk than owning it, that is the holy grail. So that is what we do. Now, what problem do we solve? The problem we solve is this. The retail investor absorbs all the risk that Wall Street passes to them. Wall Street and institutions, they do not function the same way they have traditional advisors or even the retail person function inside the markets. They pass the risk to them. If you think for 1 minute that BlackRock or JP Morgan is investing institutional funds into the products they're giving the public to invest in, whether by themselves or through an advisor, if you think they're doing the same thing, then you don't understand the industry. So we're solving a couple of problems. One, we're giving the public technology that has normally been reserved just for the elite and the institutions. We're flipping Wall Street on its head. That's number one problem. Number two problem, we're doing it for a fraction of the cost so that the average everyday person can do it.
That's really interesting, because you hear for years, in order to go invest as an individual, you have to go compete against all these machine learning tools, all these algos that the big shops are using. There's two things you said in here that really caught my attention. And number one, you're really talking about the democratization of both access and information. And number two, and this is something that's bedeviled me for years, it's the de-risking done by these large institutions, which I understand, because if you're going to invest, I don't care who you are, right? You want to protect your principal, your core, if you will. At the same time, I look around the talent acquisition market, and I tell people all the time, it's broken, it's horribly inefficient, and it's balanced on the back of candidates. Because the companies, and you and I know, and we see it playing out in Wall Street, he who has the gold makes the rules.
Yeah,
and
every time.
If any risk they can push onto someone else who can't do anything about it. Candidates get lost in this gravity well of applications and ATS and keyword matching and all this other jazz, and can never get to a human, can never have that connection. And I think it's kind of the same when you look at what I hear you're doing with iFlip, is you're like, hey, let's bring this so much closer to people to where you can make cogent decisions. And you'll never make them as fast probably as, what JP Morgan can do because of the investment and the compute cycle power that's behind it. But you can at least put yourself in a position not to be the person that they're balancing the risk on.
We're better, actually.
Oh, no kidding.
We don't
talk more about that, because that's to me, that's huge.
We're better. So we set out to be better. When I say better, I mean performance and risk. And when you talk about institutions or even the high-speed, high-frequency stuff, nobody's going to outbeat anybody anymore. The streams are too fast. We don't trade all the time. We are not a trading platform. We are an investment platform. That word is chosen very specifically because we're not trying to trade all the time or every day. Right. We want, in fact, to be in the market all the time. The only time we come out and the way it works is we have a book of what we call smart folios. They're not a portfolio, they're a smart folio. That smart folio has a group of stocks or ETFs in it, and or. Each one of those stocks and ETFs has the traditional algorithm, a technical indicator, mathematically driven. Each symbol has its own algorithm. Every day, once a day only, that algorithm, before the market opens, looks around to determine the risk. It's looking for statistical likelihood and correlation in mathematics as to the risk involved in holding it. That exists. That's what the big boys do. However, we go one step further. That algorithm doesn't report to a human. That algorithm reports to the AI and the machine learning. If the machine learning agrees and the AI says, yes, we agree with you, Mr. Algorithm, it will then allow you to do it. And the AI and the algorithm are automatic. They automatically do the investing for you. If it disagrees, though, it will override the algorithm. The machine will, not the human, and it will take you out. An entire smartfolio might only make 10 trades a year. All we want to do is avoid those 10% drops. If you can do that over the lifetime, you become exponentially better. In fact, since 2017, since we turned on the machine, Every one of the market drops that have happened, on average, were 24% better over those drops.
Wow.
That's far more statistically significant than saying what were your performance numbers. Our performance numbers, even if we did exactly what the S&P 500 did, which we did much better, but even if we did only as good as the S&P, the fact that we did it while skipping those dips makes the journey much smoother.
Yeah, I mean, if you can protect your principal and not lose money, it doesn't really matter. I mean, it does, but just say in theory, it doesn't matter if you're making a 3% gain or a 30% gain year over year, as long as you're not going backwards. You're always growing, and it compounds.
The biggest statement I use, John, I say it all the time. If you only care about returns, because that's the number one question people ask me, how's the performance? How's the returns? If that's all you care about, if you're purely driven by returns, buy lottery tickets. Best return ever.
If you hit. You know, in my state, in Texas, we've had this big scandal going on with people overseas bulk buying lottery tickets, because when it gets over, suppose there's only 30 million numbers available, but the jackpot is 90.
Yeah,
they go buy one of everything.
Yep.
You know, knowing odds are, even if they're splitting it with other parties, they're still going to make their money back.
Yeah, and they might win twice.
Yeah, and it's insane how that stuff works. And what's crazy to me is, you know, I sit back and I look at this, and we talk about the democratization of information, democratization of access, and so on and so forth. I wonder what the nuances are going to be down the road as AI develops and is making these decisions.
Yeah.
You know, because there's going to have to be differentiators, right?
Yep.
At some point, why this is underperforming or that's overperforming, there's going to be biases and prejudices built in. So how are y'all addressing that with your AI?
Number one, you said it perfectly. It's our AI. It's not public domain AI. It's not ChatGPT or OpenAI. It's not available to the public. You can't go pull our data. There's no APIs. It's ours. We built it. We recorded it. We created the predictors. The predictors are what drives everything, and the AI weights the predictors. Plus, we've been doing this now since 2017. 2017, nobody was talking about AI. We've been doing it that long. Our next generation that's coming, I'm not going to spoil a whole bunch of stuff here, but we have the next round coming. We are, in essence, flipping our current model even on its head with better performance and less risk. And that the next generation of AI is on the cusp of coming out in the next few months, and it's going to even change the game further. So to your point, if you're only using public domain, like you could use ChatGPT and I could use ChatGPT. We both go in and ask the same questions. We're going to get the same answers. We could almost manipulate ChatGPT to produce the same report, which is what the world is now starting to fear. I get asked that question a lot, particularly by investors that are looking to invest in our company. What separates us is that we're not having the same inputs, nor are we having the same predictors. I mean, our AI is completely different. It's designed different. It's designed by us. And so because of that, our head start is significant. And now it's going to come back to humans. He who can program their AI the best and teach it over time and discover the right predictors. I mean, do we really know if weather has an impact on the stock market or on an individual symbol? Don't know. You can, but it can be mapped and it can be correlated. Day of the week, time of the day, season. There's no limit to what you can put in to be a predictor. And then the AI, as it learns, it'll start to weight those predictors so that now you know how much to correlate its weight to.
Wow. Man, question. Because my brain is going several different directions simultaneously.
Sure.
But one question I have is, who are your customers? Who are your clients? I mean, is iflipinvest.com something that you'll need to go to if you have $500,000 or $2 million to invest, or is it something that people can get into and build up? You know, who are younger, for example, or starting further behind, and they have a 20 or 30 year runway. I mean, who do you target with this? Because this is not insignificant. When you can bring big shop stroke to the little guy.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, this has become my favorite thing to talk about on all of it. In 2024 was when we started product market testing to see where we were going to go and start spending money in that realm. Mm-hmm. And we anticipated the Robin Hood crowd to flock to us. We thought we were going to get a bunch of $1,000 to $5,000 accounts, people trying it out, people testing it. We couldn't have been more wrong. What we're getting once a week, at least once a week, somebody moves that I don't know, that we have not marketed to. Somebody moves $500,000 or more in a single account from a Schwab, a Fidelity, a Vanguard, a Kingfisher, any of the known names. They literally move their whole account to us. And they're doing that weekly now, sometimes multiple times in a day. Mm-hmm. And they're doing it for a couple of reasons. One, we now have a track record so they can see the performance. Yeah. But the fact that our software only costs you $7 a month, we have people on here that have as much as $4 million on this platform, but you only need $500. So here's another democratization piece for you. Do I, Randy Tate, or our team at iFlip have to do more work if you have $500 or if you have $5 million? The answer is no.
No.
So you pay $7. So you got $1 million actively managed by a professional manager. You're paying 1%, maybe 75 basis points, or 1 to 1.5%. Still, do the math. You're paying 15, 20 grand a year for a service that we're better than, and you can get it for a max from us of $84. And here's the kicker. Here's where it gets even better. We have positioned ourselves with the introducing broker dealer to also only charge a flat fee. So up to $10,000, there's zero fees. At $10,000, the broker's only going to charge you $10 a month. So now what we've done is we've got rid of the ambiguity around the pricing structures of assets under management, and that fee that they charge grows forever. Now you'll grow, your fee will go up with the broker, but it's also capped. The most you can possibly pay using our platform is $140 a month for brokerage and $7 a month for software. You can't pay more than that, no matter how much money you put on our platform. Wow. That's the differentiator. So now when you ask who's my client, it started out being the little guy, and it's always going to be the little guy. But we're starting to attract some pretty big fish.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow. Those are some big numbers and some little numbers. People ought to take that into account. So let me ask you this, Randy. If someone wants to find you and iFlip, get in contact, learn more, what's the best way to do that?
The best way is to go to our website. I guess I'm old. I say www, but it's it just rolls out. It's iflipinvest.com. So iflipinvest.com. If you want to schedule a demo, you can do it right there on the site. And you can get on a calendar with a human that will walk you through the software. Now, let me tell you, John, the learning curve to use our software and build out these portfolios that we call smart, it's going to take you about 15, 20 minutes. So you're going to have to set aside some time to learn and get prepared. But we'll do it with you. We will hold your hand. We will walk you through it. We've got a support team. We've got people on the phone. You can find me through that website. You can also get me on LinkedIn, Randy Tate. LinkedIn. You can follow us on YouTube. We have a pretty big YouTube channel. So go to iFlip. You'll see this logo. Follow it. You get all your shorts and your videos. But we're not hard to find, and we're happy to help anybody.
Awesome, Randy. Thanks so much for joining me today. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.